Today, we're going to announce that we're having our first public hearing on March 20th, Monday, March 20th at 10 a.m. This is meant to be an initial hearing for people to come on their own accord. So we have an initial list of people that we've invited, and we will invite possibly more. We hope that everyone will accept our invitation to come and freely testify in what will be an open hearing. And I want to conduct as many of these hearings in the public, and as you know, that's a little rare for the intelligence committees to do, but because of the seriousness of the accusations involved on all sides of this issue, I want to make sure that we hold as many of these hearings out in public so that the American people and all of you can attend and report on. So the initial list, and I want to just clarify, this is an initial list, but we have Director Comey of the FBI, Director Rogers of the NSA, former Director Brennan from CIA, former Director Clapper, Ms. Yates, former Acting Attorney General, Mr. Halperovich, and Mr. Henry from CrowdStrike Services. So with that, I'd be glad to take any questions that you have.
You said you want to avoid a witch hunt. Are you already downplaying the issue and the outcome of this investigation?
No, we're trying to get as many of the facts as possible. What we're announcing today is the fact that we're going to have an open hearing, and we're inviting people who obviously would have some information as it relates to this investigation.
Why no invitation for General Flynn? Will you extend an invitation in the future? Well,
General Flynn is invited to attend, but he's not on our official invite list. But if there are people out there who would like to attend, we'd like to have them. We'd like to encourage them as long as they have something to do with this investigation. At this point, we've invited the people who we feel are directly in line with either having information about this investigation on all sides of it. General Flynn is obviously a tangent to some of this because of his name being involved in a lot of the leaks. Yes,
your Democrat counterpart, Adam Schiff, has already called for the resignation of Attorney General Sessions. How exactly is this working out right now in terms of relationships right now on the committee and how this particular hearing is going to be going?
Yeah, well, this committee, as you all know, is very bipartisan in nature. It long has had a history of that, and that will continue. Mr. Schiff was invited to be here today, but he's giving a speech somewhere. I think he's going to address some of you later in a couple hours. But the initial list, and I want to make sure you understand, the initial list of people that we're inviting is just an initial list. We will add to that as we see fit. But these are names that we agreed to on a bipartisan basis that have been invited.
Mr. Nunes, have you seen any evidence to support the president's claim that he has been wiretapped by the previous president?
Yeah, I have not. I mean, I have not seen that evidence. As you know, I think that a lot of that was maybe a little bit the multiple tweets were perhaps a little bit strung together, but I think the bigger question that needs to be answered is whether or not Mr. Trump or any of his associates were in fact targeted by any of the intelligence agencies or law enforcement authorities, and that's at the heart of many of the questions that many of you have asked on numerous occasions. So we will, at this point, we don't have any evidence of that, but we also don't have any evidence of many people who have been named in multiple news stories that supposedly are under some type of investigation.
Should he have done that? Do you think he should have made those comments over the weekend when you were still conducting this investigation?
Well, he's the President of the United States, not me, so he can do what he likes.
Sorry, what does that
mean? It's not me to give him advice. Yes, sir.
What does that mean? You said to me the tweets were kind of strung together. What does that mean?
Well, there was multiple tweets, but I think the point of, if I'm understanding the point of them, was he's asking a question about whether or not he was being, was he or any of his associates targeted? And I think that I think it's a valid question, if indeed it was a question, that if you look at General Flynn, why was he being recorded? Was it incidental collection like we all assume, or was it something else? And was there any other additional incidental recordings of phone calls.
Congressman, are you saying that you think it was a question he was posing, not a statement that he was
Well, look,
making?
I haven't talked to the president about it, so I can only, but I do know that they have asked us to look into this. We were going to look into it anyway, because clearly, when you take in its totality, all of the leaks, if you take in, FISA is involved in this, whether or not FISA was implemented properly, whether it was just regarding General Flynn or other people, and of course you all know, because you all have been asking these questions for many weeks now, the names that are circulating out in many press stories, are those people in fact under investigation or not? We need to know that if those investigations are occurring.